Hey guys, I'm Corey, Truly Evil Bob, and I talk a lot about rule systems on my channel of late. Well, there are two things in role-playing games. There are the world building, the characters in the world, and what people eat in the world, and how the political systems function. Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? This is what gamers like to call the fluff. And then there are the rule systems. There's things like your level and your hit points and what attributes you have. Is it strength or brawn or those types of things? And we call that the crunch. I like to talk about the crunch, and that is what I'm going to start naming these things. So let's talk about wound systems and hit points. Hit points in particular, because we all use hit points. Dungeons and Dragons, first game with hit points, and even in video games we have hit points. And it's a pretty easy system to think about. Your wounds, your amount of meat stuff, has a certain amount of points to it, and a weapon doing damage to that takes away those points until you have 0, and then you either collapse from not being able to fight anymore, or you simply die. There's flaws with the hit point system, and I'm going to go into those, especially Dungeons & Dragons version hit point system. In Dungeons & Dragons, when you go up a level, you gain an arbitrary amount of hit points based on a rolled die. So you can start surviving bigger and badder threats and weapons. Whereas a dragon breath would cook you to a crisp before, it does not but scratch you now that you are 15th level. And I don't know, that's a problem to me. Oh, there's a bug. I'm out here in the wilderness, and a bug got me. It took away a hit point. I know what you're going to say. Dungeons & Dragons says that hit points aren't just your meat stuff. They're your skill. They're your skill in fighting, how well you were able to dodge, and your mental toughness. So when you take psychic damage, it does hit points, because the more hit points you have, the more mental toughness you have, the more you're able to shrug off wounds, your stamina, all those types of things. But when you scratch the surface of what that paragraph says, it makes absolutely no sense if you're trying to be at all realistic. Let me give you an example here. You increase your hit points based on your constitution. That makes sense if it is purely your meat stuff. You're hardier, you're bigger, you're stronger. That's your constitution. So yeah, you get more hit points based off of it. But if it's also your skill in weapon fighting, wouldn't it also be your quickness? Wouldn't you also want to put your intelligence into that? Your intelligence, your wits, on how well you're able to parry or dodge, get out of the way, because you're trained in that. So your wisdom or your intelligence should add. Your quickness, your dodging technique, how fast you naturally are. Your dex should go into your hit points too. None of those do that. It kind of makes no sense. And then there's another thing. If it is your skill and your hit points go down, do you run out of skill? That makes no sense. But it's the same thing in Final Fantasy, in all of those video games that also use hit points. It's also the same deal. You can fall, if you're 20th level in 2nd edition, a fighter, and you fall from the sky, fall from space, and hit the ground, you can survive that because you have enough hit points. There's funny, ludicrous things that you can do in these role-playing games because of the rule systems, the crunch that it has in it. So, is hit points a good system? Yes, it actually is, despite its flaws. Despite these flaws, it's a good system, and this is why I like to say it's a good system. It's so easy. People can pick this up and understand it at a glance. When you're hit with a wound in another system that tries to be more realistic, you have to roll to soak. You have to do all these other little things. How much wound penalties do I have now? I hit my arm instead of just a generic hit point. It hit my arm, so now I have penalties only with that arm. Am I using that arm? I'll just use my other arm. There's a lot of complication that's involved. And for hardcore gamers, that can be a good thing. That can be a fulfilling experience. But when you just want to have fun, quick and dirty and easy system, that's what you want. So yeah, I like hit points. I don't have a huge problem with them. They cannot make sense at times. They seriously can't, but at other times, who cares? We're having fun playing the game. That's what matters. So, last month, I gave a little challenge. I said, hey, if I get, for every 10 likes I get, I'm going to do a push-up here, and I want y'all to challenge me, give me as many likes as I can. So I'm going to do all of those push-ups right here, right now for you at the end of this video. Here we go. You can zoom back. Are you ready? Oh God, here we go. 1. Shit, I don't have a lot of views on my channel. That was it. I got 15 views. That's 1 push-up. But hey, I'm not going to do just that. I'm going to do 15 push-ups. I was hoping to get a lot more. I'm going to do a lot more here. So, 1 for each like. That was 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, can't do one-handed. 8, 9, 10. Getting ahead of myself. 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to see if I can't try to do one-handed push-up. Let me see if I can't do it. No. Oh. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to know more about role-playing game rules. If you like watching our role-playing game let's plays, or if you just like me because I'm goofy. Ooh, Happy New Year. See you later.